I'm going to talk about lab skills and mostly what kids have done this year in terms of use of lab equipment and some of the skills that I focused on with them. So for me, it's very important that they are able to use equipment, because if they take a lab science in college, that is absolutely #1 thing that they'll be doing. And I don't want them looking like fools going in trying to utilize lab equipment. So the pieces of lab equipment that I'm going to talk about are very different, and they go from simple to complex. So we have done balancing, so that way they can get measurements of mass using balances. So this is a triple beam balance. These are much cheaper, and the kids understood how to use it. It was important that they understood how a balance actually functioned, balancing the weight, versus the digital balance, which was the easy fix. They could just put something on there and get a measurement. With the triple beam, they struggled in the beginning, and they seem to know how to do it now. Other pieces of equipment, the next was the Bunsen burner. I don't know if we call this equipment, but we'd call this essential. Because we don't have a gas supply, they have portable Bunsen burners, which work just as well. And they learned how to light it properly. They actually still struggled with lighting it at the end, because you have to get the match at a certain point. And then just general lab safety around utilizing a Bunsen burner. And also then the most complex piece of equipment is the spectrophotometer that they've utilized. So this is a wonderful piece of equipment because it looks very simple. They are to put in just a sample, but it actually is a very complicated for the students, not necessarily in actual scientific processes, but complicated for them to understand how it actually works and how to utilize that to get a concentration. And the last stuff that we really focused on, other than safety with chemicals, was utilizing glassware. So how to measure properly in glassware. You have a graduated cylinder versus a beaker versus an Erlenmeyer flask, and why you would use each of those. All in all, I'd say that my goal for next year will be to have students much more independent. It was tough because this is the first year that I've taught this curriculum, and I wasn't quite sure where the kids were at, but now I have a better sense as to where students are going to be, and so I can start them out and get them to a point where when they're doing labs, I don't need to consistently remind them that, or 70% of them, that no, you should not be doing X thing because that will affect your experiment.